Hey, hello everyone. Thanks so much for joining us for Access City Council. I'm your host, City of Las Vegas Communications Director David Riggleman. Coming up on this show, you'll meet a group committed to protecting Red Rock. Plus, we'll discuss what it takes to keep trees and parks thriving in Las Vegas, and it may surprise you. For these discussions and much more, we're talking with our Ward 4 City Councilwoman, Frances Allen Palenske. Good to have you back, Councilwoman. How are you? You surviving the summer okay?
Yeah, it's been a warm one, of course.
It has. And kids are back to school. How's that going?
Next Monday. Shoes purchased, backpack, all the things.
All ready to go. All right. Well, you know Ward 4 like the back of your hand. It's your stomping ground. But for those of you out there not exactly sure where Ward 4 is located, well, we're going to show you on the map. Basically, the northwest area of our city. The area in green with the 4 on it, appropriately enough. If you live in that area or work in that area, then of course you are in the city limits of the city of Las Vegas. And if you're a resident out there, you're represented on the city council by Frances Allen Palenske, who is our guest today. Well, you're a co-host with me, actually. Well, Councilwoman, up first, we're talking about an organization committed to preserving and protecting the Red Rock Canyon National Conservation Area. It's called the Friends of Red Rock. And joining the Councilwoman and me is our special guest. Probably already know who she is. It's none other than Terry Janison. Terry, great to have you on the show. Thank you so much for being here. And it's a pleasure because Councilwoman, Terry's a familiar face, former school board member, involved in so many philanthropies here in town.
Decades.
And now, Terry, you're part of Friends of Red Rock, too. It's cool stuff.
Thank you so much, and what a pleasure to see you both. Absolutely.
Vice versa. It's like old home week around here.
It is.
So, Councilwoman, your ward, we hear about this. The town is growing. We're expanding to the west more and more. And there's always concern about, well, how does that integrate with our natural beauty, specifically Red Rock Canyon out there? And I know that's something you're very much in tune with, and that's why we have Terry here.
And that map that we saw earlier with the green, the far northwest part of that map, we're working on a development agreement for 3,500 units of homes. So we're getting close to the Red Rock National Conservation Area. So we got to talk to this lady about making sure that all things are done with intent and done in coalescence of the desert.
With
the desert.
Yeah, because we're a growing city. But Terry, at the same time, we want to preserve the things that make Las Vegas and this area so special too.
Absolutely. Well, it's a balance. It is a balance, right? But what we've loved so far is that, so Friends of Red Rock Canyon 2 years ago received a grant from the state of Nevada to do a recreational area management plan out there in the La Madre foothills. And so that's why we connected with the councilwoman, because as you all in the city were having that development and we were doing this ramp out there, it was like, how do we work together to make sure that they can still develop, but we do it properly to still allow people to have access to their public lands. So it's really been great to work with the city and the councilwoman and her staff, because the staff members have been great about how do we work together, and then like where do the trails go, where are the trailheads going. So we don't have those, I'm not sure if your ramp is complete, but ours is not yet finalized.
No, not yet.
We both went into public input, so we got the community's input about what they wanted to see, how they wanted to access it. Do you want trails, hiking, motorized vehicles? Yeah. So all of that. It's just been great fun and educational.
Terry, tell us a little bit more about the organization. Those of us who have been here a while know about Friends of Red Rock, but for those watching who maybe aren't familiar with the organization, tell us about it.
No, absolutely, and I love that because my family and I have been here for 30 years, right? And we've always loved Red Rock Canyon, but Friends of Red Rock Canyon has been around for 40 years. We are the first Friends group in the BLM system nationwide. So I don't think a lot of people, I actually didn't know that.
I didn't know.
Started to work out
that
there,
old.
right? So we're celebrating our 40th anniversary this year, and it's always been a volunteer organization. So for many, many years, when BLM was, thank you.
Very nice, Councilwoman.
That is actually our impact report to talk about the work that's been happening over these past 40 years out there, because what it always was and still is that we have over 300 volunteers that come out literally on a daily basis to help support the BLM, because as you all know, federal government doesn't always fund to the fullest extent what the needs are.
Right.
Red Rock Canyon National Conservation Area is 200,000 acres.
It's huge.
So
it's not just the area with the loop that everybody drives.
That's
It's much larger.
That's right. And that La Madre foothills to where, I mean,
all the way north,
areas, right?
almost to Kyle Canyon.
Right.
So a very big footprint.
And then all the way down to Blue Diamond, so it goes up the entire area.
So Terry, talk about what the Friends do, the 300 volunteers. What are some of the things that and I think Councilwoman and I are familiar, but again, with the folks out there, and for those that might be interested in getting involved.
Recreationalists volunteer.
Tell everyone about it.
Absolutely. So the main areas are trail maintenance. We do a lot of trash pickup, unfortunately. We help with getting rid of social trails, because sometimes people will get out there and then they'll just start going off trail, and then there's a lot of incredible plants that are out there that are only in this area worldwide. And so we want to protect and preserve those plants as well. So we take care of the social trails, we remove graffiti, which is so unfortunate. But a lot of our volunteers also take care of we have a tortoise habitat at the visitor center. And so we have 9 tortoises that we're helping take care of that cannot go back into the wild. They're very cute. And then the information desk. So there's 2 million people a year that go through that fee booth. And then almost 1 million go up into the visitor center just to get information.
Wow, that's a huge number.
It is.
That I mean, you think of, well, Las Vegas, the tourists are all going to the Strip, right? Well, obviously not. So.
Well, it's true. And I think what the Strip, the hotels don't fully understand it too, is that, you know, they come to those hotels, but they're coming out to Red Rock Canyon because it's so close. There's no cell service. There's no food and water. So there's this communication that I think that needs to happen with our Strip partners about how to make sure all of our visitors stay safe.
Now, Terry, you touched on the tortoises. Now, you've got a little prop that you brought with this. This is very cool, and we want to show everybody this because this is just one of the many things that you do out there to.
Well, there we go. How about that? So I've already pitched to the Councilwoman because I think she and her family are going to come. So we do a 5K. It's a non-timed tortoise trot trail run walk.
And your tortoise moves here too, right? So he runs. Look at him.
This is your finisher's medal that you get. Everybody who participates for the 5K out there gets this, as well as his shirt. But it's a fundraiser for Friends of Red Rock Canyon.
Now, that's not in July or August, right?
No.
Shoot.
October 5th this year.
That makes sense.
7 o'clock in the morning. But no, it's just a lot of fun. So
it's the full loop, Terry, the full
No,
third?
it's a 5K.
5K, just a 5K.
It's just a quick little 5K. But so our whole goal is we still do the volunteers, but we are also the philanthropic arm for the BLM. So we raise money for the things that they might not be able to have covered out there that are needs. So one of the things that's coming up is that we have to restripe the parking lots for safety. So Friends is going to help pay for some of that. So it's just things that maybe they can't always get covered. Then Friends is there to make sure that we have safety, protection, and preservation of Red Rock Canyon.
And Terry, also too, you guys, with the Native American sites out there, you work to preserve those as well.
We do. So we really are trying to get more of the indigenous tribes involved back, because it was their
place,
their land, right? So there are a couple of places out there right now that we want to make sure that we protect. And I'll go back to that the graffiti that we talked about. I mean, I just don't think
unbelievable.
People just.
Why
I'm going to hold my opinion.
Yeah, same here. I think we're all going to share that opinion,
But it's very frustrating. So I do believe that there is an educational piece to this as well, about, especially for the younger generation, these are millions of year old rock. Please don't carve your name in that and do things.
This is a special place.
It is very special.
And Councilwoman, I know this is near and dear to you, and as we touched on this at the beginning, but as the city grows and that
it's a balance
between keeping the beautiful conservation area, but also a city
that needs housing.
We need a lot of housing, and so. But I think you and your colleagues are well in tuned on this, working with organizations like Terry's to make sure we find that happy medium.
Yeah, but before this role, I didn't realize when you build a home development on the edge of a conservation area, you have to have a buffer zone. And in that buffer zone, no landscaping can be non-indigenous. So we don't have seeds and whatnot
going in.
Correct. So there is a lot of intricacy to it, and it's been a good learning experience.
Terry, you touched on something I'd like to discuss a little bit more, because our next guest is our urban forester. You said there are plants out there that are only unique in the entire world just to Red Rock?
Just to Red Rock.
Now, I've lived here, like you, well over 30 years, and I never knew that.
You know, David, and I'd love to be able to give you more information about what those plans are, but I do not
It's
know.
okay. We're going to look
know their
into
Latin
it.
names.
I think we're going to go do a story on that here on Channel 2. So,
Interesting.
But I will tell you, so I'm going to go back to where you all started this conversation too. So we've all lived here and we know and love it. We see it every day. But I hope that the message today for the viewers and your constituents specifically is just to understand more about what this jewel is in our backyard and how do we protect it and how do we take care of it.
Yeah.
We all enjoy it. But how do we ensure that we take care of it? And so we'd love to have people support Friends of Red Rock Canyon, either volunteering or your corporations. We've had a lot of corporate volunteer projects out there this year. So there's a lot
put
of
them to work.
opportunity.
You'll make sure. Yeah,
Put people to work.
exactly. Well, Terry, we're just about out of time. Anything else you want to add just at the end here, too?
No, I really just would like to give another shout out to the city and your office as well, because the conversations with the ramp and ensuring that we all work together have really been, it's been great. And so we can look forward to continuing working together with you all in the city.
Very healthy.
Kudos to both of you for
Thank
doing that,
you.
too. So it's good forward thinking. So, Terry, always a pleasure. Great to have you here.
so much.
Best to you and
Nice
your
to see you
family.
all.
Yes.
And, Councilwoman, we're going to take a quick break here, but coming up, a look at what it takes to keep our parks growing and thriving. Please stay tuned for some very fun demonstrations. It's right after this.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day, I found out I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. Prediabetes does. With early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test today. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org.
Thanks for staying with us, everyone. Did you ever wonder what it takes to raise trees from seeds and maintain our beautiful parks? Well, joining us with the answers to all of that is the City of Las Vegas urban forester, Brad Dossler. He's discussing all of this with Councilwoman Frances Allen Palenske and me, and we're thrilled to have Brad on. Brad's kind of a celebrity around the city, for
He
sure.
is a rock star.
He is. He keeps all the trees in all of our parks, everywhere, on city property. He's the guy that makes sure that they thrive. And, if you hadn't heard, we live in a desert, so it's a little difficult to do that sometimes, but he's the man that can make it happen. So, Brad, great to have you on the program. And you've got some demonstrations you're going to have for us this morning, but tell us a little bit about your job, first of all. You've got a lot of responsibility. We have a lot of trees on city property, don't we?
Absolutely, yeah. We have about 45,000 trees spread throughout the city on streets, parks, and facilities. And my job is to take care of those, make sure that they're doing well, staying alive, and working for us in the city.
Yeah, exactly. Keeping us cool, giving us some shade.
Canopy.
And we've got an initiative, Councilwoman, the council supporting this, Brad, to up the number of trees. We're going to try to raise that number somewhere around 60,000, right?
Absolutely, yeah. It's a big project, but I think with the development, with replacing trees as they go, we can achieve that. We have a lot of development happening, and so we have opportunities to plant and make the city beautiful and green and provide canopy and shade for people when they're downtown and in the parks.
Yeah. Councilwoman, we hear this often. People say, well, wait a minute, we're in a desert, we're trying to save water. Isn't it counterintuitive? We're planting trees, but we're trying to save water. It's something we hear often. Brad, help, and Councilwoman, you jump in on this too, to help debunk that myth. The trees actually provide some relief from our
Urban heat island.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. So any great city is going to need parks and nature and green space. I think that that's vital to what makes people want to come to a city. So it's a component of that. So we do understand that water is an issue. We have a set amount of water that we can use, and we try to be responsible with that. So we're selecting species that are drought adapted, meaning we can irrigate them less frequently.
Right. They're still beautiful, you know.
Still beautiful and still resilient in the heat and in the drought. And so we try to make choices that we understand the long-term future of water. And in addition to that, we're participating with the SNWA in the turf removal project. And this year we'll be taking out 160,000 square feet of non-functional turf. We're leaving the areas where kids would play and run and do all these things.
Thank you.
But small, yeah, because turf is important. Having grass is important to the parks and to the cooling effect. But the smaller pieces, if we can remove them and replace them with more drought-adapted landscapes so that it's still beautiful, then that's the smart way forward.
Now, Brad, you brought some demonstration props here in with you today to show Councilwoman and me. So please take it from there. What have you got for us?
These are containers that we use in our nursery project. So a handful of years back, we started a project to begin growing our own trees. So with the initiative to plant the 60,000 trees, we had to source trees and we needed a place to hold them. So it started with this small nursery, and it's kind of expanded into this really incredible
So we're growing these
project.
ourselves. You and your team are growing these on your own, as opposed to we're going to a nursery and just buying them from somewhere else.
Absolutely. So we take a mixed approach. We do buy some trees from nurseries, but some trees are not as readily available. And in an effort to grow a high quality tree, but then also to provide a diverse species palette of trees, we grow some trees from seed ourselves. So things that aren't commonly available, like this is a cat claw acacia, which...
how big will that get, Brad? When it's fully grown, how big will that thing get?
I would think of it as a medium-sized tree. It may get to 18 feet, so
not teeny.
Not small, but that's native to red rock. So but it's thorned, and so sometimes things that maybe aren't as commercially viable aren't as available, and so we take the opportunity to we have a lot of different locations that we have to plant. We have streetscapes, we have parks, and so we have opportunities to use many different species.
Obviously, the ones with thorns you're not going to put near a children's play area or anything like that.
Of course not.
But in other areas where the vegetation, the landscaping is set back, where people aren't really going to come in contact with it, it's a beautiful option.
It's a beautiful option. Yes, and so
drought tolerant, I presume.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So those are thriving out in Red Rock with no supplemental irrigation. So we think we can get some of these trees established and then be really frugal with the water that we're providing.
Good. Now, what else you got, Brad? What else is here?
Yeah, so I guess circling back on this, so what I was showing you before with the small tree, that's kind of a starter cell, and we're doing things a little bit differently. When I was saying that we were trying to produce high quality trees, this is typically what you would find in a nursery, is like a smooth-sided plastic container. And when you put a seed in it, it grows and starts producing roots. But when they hit the side of this container,
They can't go anywhere.
They can't go anywhere, and they kind of circle around and they take on the shape of the container.
I see what you're doing.
With ours, you can see it's mesh, and so the roots kind of go out, and so we don't get the defects that you get from using typical style.
It's going to make it more efficient in drawing in water too.
Absolutely, we're producing a higher quality root system that will pull up resources more readily, will be more stable. So when we plant these in the landscape, we want the roots to spread out and then support the canopy or the mass of the
so
tree.
it won't blow over, or fall down, which is, every time we have a storm, as I know you start biting your fingernails, and I do too, because we end up having to address those with the residents out there. So, so that's brilliant. That's a brilliant way to do it. And did you guys devise that yourself, Brad, or that's a really great solution to the problem?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we didn't create the products, but the program we have kind of we've started and kind of made changes as we've moved through, and we're having really good results with it. I find it to be personally incredible how fast you can grow a tree when you
Do things right.
When you do it right.
Yeah. How about that? Now, what is this, Brad? What else do you have here?
Okay.
For us?
We do the growing process in stages. So I showed you kind of the start where we place the seed, and then the next step would be to put it into this
bigger pot.
Yeah, that pot. And so again, This is typically what you would see in a nursery, is the slow-sided plant.
I noticed
Instead,
it's got holes. Folks, if you can't see it there, all the little, yes, you can see that there are holes in this.
Yeah.
All around the sides.
same as kind of the mesh starter cell. This provides, like, the roots will reach out to the side of the container as they want to do, and then instead of circling around and creating these defects that would reduce the stability of the tree, they just get through these air holes, and basically they get air pruned. So when they make contact with oxygen, the root kind of stops growing, and then we get it, and it roots back in there. So we have a really densely rooted, like, fibrous root system instead of a woody root system that's in the shape of a container.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And these are great. I mean, these are reusable. So you can see they got these little pins, and then when my guys go to transplant them, they just unhook them.
It's like a shield. It falls off.
Right, and it just opens up, and you take the root ball, and then
off you go.
We shift it into the next container. That again does like a similar root management type process for us that helps us.
And Brad, I'm sure this varies from tree to tree in the species, but how many different transfers typically do you and your team do before the tree is able to just go out and live in a park or along a roadway or whatever?
So we're typically doing 4. So we'll do the starter cell, we'll move to this guy, and then we have 2 of these bags. So that's a 15-gallon bag.
Brad? Yeah, show us this. Yeah.
So basically,
oh, I see. Now
right.
It up. Yeah.
So it's kind of a replacement for a typical black plastic container or a wooden box that you see at nurseries for people to grow trees in. But it's a felt-lined bag, and so similar to these things, what happens here is the roots hit the side of the bag, and then they get tangled up in the felt, and then they don't circle around again. So we don't get these
root-bound.
Yeah, these root-bound trees, which is a huge problem for us.
Brad, that is really fascinating, and kudos to you and your team for being so innovative. You guys should be teaching classes on this to people out there. That's awesome. Brad, we have about a minute left.
Okay.
Anything else you want to add? Councilwoman and I could talk to you for a lot longer. This is really good stuff. So,
not so much. I mean, yeah, the project's cool. We're excited to do it for everybody.
Well, it's good stuff. Councilwoman, I'm so glad we had him on. We're really, so many things we do here at the city, we're taking a lead role. And here's another example of it with Brad and his team. This is not typically how trees are grown. So.
And the city has really ambitious goals to plant more trees.
Sure do.
So we couldn't do that financially if we had to go buy them at, everybody knows the name of the local nurseries. And so Brad really makes this possible. And when a tree goes down in a park, we don't have to wait 2 years to replace it because of this program. So it's worked out wonderful.
Yeah, we're proud of you, Brad. Keep up the good work. Great guest. Thank you so much for being on the program. And we're going to say goodbye to you, but Councilwoman, please stick around because we need to take another short break. But next, a look at some upcoming events that are coming to Ward 4. It's right after this.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Can you see anything different as a pill?
No.
You don't know?
Fentanyl is being mixed into everything now. There's only one thing that will save somebody's life. That is naloxone nasal spray.
Fentanyl, it's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
Why would drug dealers put a lethal dose of fentanyl in drugs if they know it's so harmful?
Really just all about the money.
I just didn't realize that one pill could change your whole life.
More kids should know.
When they test you, stand firm and move only when you hear the seatbelt click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
Welcome back, everyone. We are talking upcoming events now in Ward 4 with Councilwoman Frances Allen Palenske. Councilwoman, let's just jump right in. You got a police officer luncheon coming up on August 16th. 2:30 at Northwest Area Command. Is this to honor some of the police officers and their service out there? Is that what you're working on?
No, this is in conjunction with the Ward 6 office, and we do this quarterly. We bring lunch to our police officers.
Very nice.
And have a discussion, and it kind of sometimes goes wherever. A lot of times they like to know what
are you hearing?
What are we hearing? And the dialogue is just very healthy. They want to know, where is the next development going to happen? They want to be a part of the loosely a part of the entitlement process. They want to always make sure that it's lit up well for safety and security purposes. So
good. So good dialogue between Metro and our city council members. Yeah. So that's coming up on the 16th. Very good.
Yep.
And then Councilwoman 2, you're going to get a secret here. August 21st at our city council meeting, there's going to be a big announcement coming.
Yeah, we have some news. We're honoring a couple of veterans, a couple of veterans groups, and a couple specific veterans who have been a great help to the city of Las Vegas and the veterans community. And without talking too much, I would urge all of the viewers to tune in. It's exciting, exciting for the city and exciting for veterans.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a teaser for everybody. We can't go into all the detail now, but we hope on the 21st, the city council meeting that morning, 9 o'clock, tune in, watch us here on Channel 2, and check it out, because it'll be a very nice announcement that, so you've been warned, it's coming. So been notified.
Always exciting.
And then we were talking about this at the top of the show, Councilwoman, schools back in the swing of things. And you're doing your principals roundtable, meeting with the principals of all the schools out in the Northwest. And this is going to be out at Northwest Tech, right? Where you guys are going to all get together?
It is, and the culinary students there will be making dinner.
Very nice.
And we have all the principals come from the area. It's educational, it's information sharing, exchanging. This year, Metro is actually going to be involved, because safe schools are definitely everyone's priority.
Yeah, exactly. So that'll be a good discussion as well. And again, good dialogue between the school district, the principals, kind of what their needs are, and staying in good communication
and
with the city.
how the city can support them.
Exactly. And I should mention that, did you know this, Councilwoman, that at Northwest Tech, our very own Meredith Hall, who's on the staff here, was former valedictorian from Northwest Tech.
I'm very proud. I did not know that.
See, there you go. She's very smart. And just
one of our own, homegrown.
Exactly. And then went on to UNLV and had a stellar educational career there as well. So now she works here. So there you go.
Love it.
All right. Well, Councilwoman, we're about out of time here, but we want to tell everybody out there, hey, we always want to hear from you. So if there's something you'd like to share with Councilwoman Palenske, you can pick up the phone, give her a call, 702-229-2524, or send her an email. The address is fpalenske@lasvegasnevada.gov. You can also visit the Ward 4 website or subscribe to the Councilwoman's newsletter by using that QR code right there, and you'll get all the stuff going on in Ward 4. So great to have you on the program. We'll have you back in 6 weeks with another update from Ward 4. It'll be here like that. You have to give me a report on how your kids are doing with the new school year. I know that most kids are not really that excited to be back, but your kids, I think I'm sure they're going to slide into the whole routine.
There's all the teachers and who's in my class. The conversations have already flourished.
Exactly, it's part of the deal. So looking forward to having you back. And in the meantime, everyone, please don't miss our next show beginning on August 29th with Ward 5 City Councilman Cedric Creer. You can catch all of our KCLV shows on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire. Also, watch for our QR code after this show to subscribe to that newsletter I mentioned. And don't forget, you can watch us live on the internet at kclv.tv. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time around.